I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals for Wednesday, September 24th at 7:30 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Sophia is absent. Mr. Green?
Present.
Mr. Perry?
Present.
Mr. Lindsay?
Present.
Mr. Clift?
Present.
Mr. Watts?
Present.
Mr. Assessor?
Present.
Mr. Jersey's present. Chairman Starovich?
Present. I'd like to make a motion to.
I'll make the motion to excuse Mr. Sophia.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, Mr. Sophia is excused. Adoption of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to remove item 9 from the agenda and keep the rest as written.
Point of order, reason for removal.
We are going to, the petitioner is withdrawing the motion.
I'll support that motion.
We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, agenda is approved with that change. Next was approval of the minutes, but.
Mr.
those,
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to postpone the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of August 13, 2025, August 27, 2025, and September 10, 2025 to the October 8th meeting.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Jersey and support by Mr. Clift to move the minutes approval to the next meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Minutes will be approved next meeting. Takes us to item number 6.
Item 6, applicant Martin Jones, Representative Martin Jones, common description 21735 Ellert. Variance is requested permission to retain setback of the front porch to within 21 feet of the front property line and 22 feet of the sidewalk.
Is the petitioner present? Please approach, and actually for all petitioners, when you come up, state your name and your full address before you take us through your request. Oh, and you might have to press the, okay, so we, no,
Just make sure the green light's on. There you go.
Martin Jones,
perfect, yes.
21735 Ellert Avenue, Warren, Michigan, 48089.
Okay. And what is your request today?
It's a request to retain the setback of the front porch within 21 feet of the front property line and 22 of the sidewalk.
Okay.
So that my front porch matches everybody else's on the street.
Okay. Thank you for that explanation. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this item? Not seeing anybody in the audience, I'll close the public portion and turn it over to the board for questions and discussion.
Mr. Chair, real quick.
Yes,
to
Mr. Jersey.
To the petitioner, so you're just replacing the old one, making a little larger one?
No, there isn't one there. All there is like a front stoop.
Yep.
And I was just looking to match that and extend it out towards the driveway and have a front porch.
Gotcha. I mean, this seems like, to me, a reasonable request that, you know, we've seen in the past, and love to see you have a porch, you know, to enjoy your neighborhood and things of that nature, so I'll yield the floor right now.
Any other questions or discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr.
One
Lindsay.
quick question to the petitioner. So are you planning on building that to the edge of the house or to the edge of the driveway?
I'm planning to do it to the edge of the house.
Okay. You said driveway. I thought it would be the edge of the house when I look at the pictures. I'm fine with it being to the edge of the house. I didn't really want to see it go to the driveway, but thanks for clarifying.
Mr. Chair, if nobody else has anything else, I'd like to make a motion on this item.
Go ahead, Mr. Jersey.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the petitioner permission to retain a setback of the front porch to within 21 feet of the front property line and 22 feet of the sidewalk due to the fact, the size and shape of the lot, and it's also not a detriment to the area.
Support.
So we have a motion by Mr. Jersey, support by Mr. Lindsay to approve the request for the reasons stated.
Mr. Jersey votes yes for the reasons stated in the motion. Mr. Lindsay.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Watts.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Green.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Clift.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Assessor.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Perry.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
And Chairman Nestovich.
Yes, for reasons stated in the motion. Your request is approved.
Thank you.
Takes us to item number 7.
Item 7, applicant Ralph and Diane Marchione, Representative Ralph Marchione, common description 30122 Cousino. Variance is requested permission to, 1, allow 2 detached accessory structures, 2, allow accessory structures to not be placed against any other accessory structure. Total combined accessory structure floor area of 651 square feet, which includes a 411 square foot attached garage, does not exceed the allowable 700 square feet.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Green?
I'm going to ask to abstain from voting on this item. It's a neighbor of mine. He's approached me a couple times in relationship to this item, just for clarification. I made it clear I can't discuss it with him, but, so there's no appearance of conflict. I'm going to ask to abstain from voting.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Green. So he should actually leave the stage, should he? Yeah. Because he has to keep the stage. Well, actually, we had a request from Mr. Green to excuse himself from this item. Do you have a motion to support that, or?
I'll make a motion to excuse.
Okay, we have,
I'll support.
all in favor of excusing Mr. Green?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, so Mr. Green, you're excused from item number 7. And to my knowledge, that means you would need to actually leave the stage for this portion? Okay, so if the petitioner can start with your name and address and then take us through your request?
Good evening, Ralph Marchione, 30122 Cousino Drive, Warren.
Okay,
And the request is to allow 2 structures within the backyard, not attached. I'm sorry, I don't know the language of the ordinance, but I included a small sketch, and I have a covered gazebo, hard-covered outside of on our patio, and I removed a old shed that was weathered and 3 feet from the house, and it was on 6x12 paver blocks. It wasn't rat wall or approved or anything, and so I'd like to reinstall a shed out by the back fence line. I have a slab already that's been approved with the rat wall and everything. It's up to code. There's a easement back there, 6 feet plus the 1 foot. And my property abuts the General Motors Tech Center Woods. So there are no people behind me, and it wouldn't interfere with the neighbors, or I think the closest neighbor across is over 100 yards, and there's woods.
okay. Thank you for that description of your request. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this item? If you could come forward to the microphone. You might just step aside to let the other resident. If we can get your name and address also.
Yeah, for sure. Kamalji Chahal at 4931 Muriel Drive.
Okay,
I'm a neighbor. Came to show support for the Marchiones. They have a beautiful backyard. I don't think a shed would look quite distinct from a covered patio. Their backyard looks beautiful, and it would continue to look beautiful with a shed. So I'm completely in support of the Marchiones variance request.
okay. Thank you for those comments. Is there anyone else in the audience wanting to speak on this item? Not seeing any, I will close the public portion and turn it over to the board for discussion and questions.
Mr. Chair, just to the petitioner, the sketch wasn't included in our packet, so we just received one, so we're just allowing a couple other board members to digest
Thank you.
that, and, you know, just give us a couple seconds here to digest it.
Pretty self-explanatory. The pad that was poured is off of the sight line from the street. I made sure it was all that, and
Yeah, just give us 1 second, sir,
I'm sorry.
to get through that, so. But I don't have any further questions.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Watts?
I got a couple questions. So you already poured the slab for the,
Yes, sir. I wasn't aware that I wasn't allowed for the two structures. It's a gazebo, it's with the hard cover, and I wasn't aware that it wasn't allowed, two structures. The ordinance, I didn't even know what ordinance I was appealing until I got my package.
so is the shed up already?
No, sir.
All right. Has that had an inspection yet?
I'm sorry?
Has the cement work had an inspection yet?
Yes, sir. It's been approved.
Okay. So my other question is, I did a drive-by. I
Okay,
drive
I'm
by
sorry.
all the stuff. And I noticed fresh cement for the driveway to the right as you're facing the front of your home.
Yes.
And I have a question for our zoning inspector on that. Because I assume you probably poured that at the same time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Watcherpoint, would that be up to, would that be up to code?
We did have an inspector out there today, and we only allow the driveway to the edge of the garage on both sides. And it did not meet that. So I believe an enforcement letter will be going out. If it didn't go out today, it'll be going out shortly.
Okay.
Separate enforcement.
And the slab with the rat wall for the shed, that was okay?
I'm not sure. It would be a building inspector that would have went out
Oh,
there.
okay.
But in the rear yard, you can pour the cement without a permit, so that wouldn't have been a problem if it was poured and he put the footings in there. The inspection part would be to make sure that there's the rat wall.
Okay.
Which it could be dug out once it's secured and everything.
Fair enough,
too.
fair enough. All right, thank you. Okay, that's all I have.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Clift?
good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My questions are pertaining to your gazebo. Open-sided, has it got walls? Kind of give me a little description.
It's open, all four sides are open.
Okay.
It's not, it's not attached to the slab. I believe it's 3 feet away from the house.
Is it one of those big box store type of gazebos?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I don't have an aversion to that, as long as it's not got walls on it. Yeah, I don't have a problem with this all the way around. I yield the floor.
Any other questions or discussion?
Mr. Chair, if nobody else has anything to say, I'll make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to grant the petitioner's request to, 1, allow 2 detached accessory structures, 2, allow accessory structures to not be placed against any other accessory structure. Good grief, I can't talk. Total combined accessory structure floor area of 651 square feet, which includes a 411 square foot attached garage, does not exceed the allowable 700 square foot due to the fact the size and shape of the lot is absolutely not a detriment to the area.
Support.
So we have a motion by Mr. Jersey, support by Mr. Clift to approve the request for reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Jersey votes yes for the reasons stated in the motion. Mr. Cliff?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Watts?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Lindsay?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Perry?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Assessor?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Chairman Estovich?
Yes, for reasons stated in the motion. Your request is approved.
Thank you. May I ask when it would be recorded? I'd like to order the shed.
I was gonna say, go
Talk to
talk to
Steve.
Steve over there on
Can
the
I-
side.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good evening. Takes us to item number 8.
Item 8, applicant City of Orem, Tom Bomarito, Representative Hunter Manicus. Common description 23157 Van Dyke. Variances requested. Permission to, 1, construct a building 0 feet from the north property line along Continental Avenue. 2, construct a building 0 feet from the east property line along Van Dyke Avenue. 3, construct a building 0 feet from the south property line along Page Avenue. 4, allow a residential use in a C2 zoning district. That's a use variance. 5, construct a 3-story building in C2 zoning district. 6, allow a parking lot 5 feet from the front property line along Continental Avenue. 7, waive 24 required parking spaces.
Good evening, board members. Thank you for taking the time and consideration for these requests. It's very much
Can I
appreciated.
just interrupt you for 1 second? First of all, I mean, we will need your full name and address, but I realize that item 4 on here is a use. We are down 1 board member today, so since it's a use variance, I just wanted to give an opportunity, if you wanted to postpone to have a full board, you have that opportunity, because use variance, you need 6 yeses. I wasn't sure if you want to proceed, or...
I believe we'll be okay to proceed.
Okay, and then, sorry for that interruption, if you could just then start with your name and address and then your request.
Yeah, Hunter Manicus, Economic Development with the City of Warren, 1 City Square.
Okay. And then-
So, as stated, we're requesting the 0 lot lines, the residential use in a C2 zoning district, a 3-story building, parking 5 feet from the front property line on Continental, and to waive 24 parking spaces. This development came to be through a lot of hard work with the MEDC, which is the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. Our city is striving to become a member of their RSE program certified. They have some requirements in terms of meeting that criteria. This project aligns with a lot of what they would like to see in the future in the city of Warren, that being mostly more flexible parking, 0 lot lines, and residential allowance in a commercial district. It's been very difficult to get construction built down on the south side of Warren. Along Van Dyke there, we're working really hard to bring a lot of new investment, development, create new jobs, really revitalize the area. We worked in partnership with Dr. Fadi, who owns a medical clinic in Warren already. He was looking to expand and speaking to us about it. And after we had met with the MEDC, kind of came up with the idea that this would be a great spot for it. The land that it's on is congruent and owned by the Tifa board. That is not very common. There are lots certainly that they own along Van Dyke, but nothing of this sizable nature. The MEDC, due to the infeasibility, there's about a $1.8 million gap between what the construction would cost and what it would take to actually turn a profit on this construction. So they are willing to put forward $1.8 million as a grant towards the city of Warren for this project. A lot of the enticement to them was this more modern design, that being the 0 lot lines, less restricted parking, and the residential and medical use. Overall, we think that this will act as an anchor for economic activity in the area and further investment. It also aligns with the City of Warren master plan, as well as the Van Dyke corridor plan and implementation plan, which have been designed. If there's any questions that you have, I'd be happy to answer them. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for that information. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this item? Not seeing any, or close the public portion. Oh, and we do have, if you could read into the record, impact statement to read in.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Per Ron Worth of the Planning Department, after review of the request, no issues were found to impact the budding local or general public. Petitioner received site plan approval for mixed-use development for My Health Medical Facility and multifamily development on March 10th, 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Jersey.
Chair?
Yes, well, the public portion is now closed. I'd like to turn it over to the board for question discussion, and then Mr. Green, you.
Yeah, 2 questions. I looked at the parking calculations. They're pretty confusing. It would appear as though, if you look at it from a layman's standpoint, that there's not going to be enough parking. So it lists 10 apartments?
So in total, there are 23 apartments. 3 of them will be on the first floor alongside the medical offices. Those will be accessible to people who have trouble with mobility. The next 2 stories on this structure will have 10 apartments each, so 23 apartments in total.
So it'd be, maybe it'd be more general, my question. So there's going to be enough parking spaces, and so if you have 23 or whatever, residential area, living spaces, and it's 2 cars per space. And then you add, medical facility, you see where I'm going?
Mhm.
If you read if you read the backup, it's got 2 or 3 different ways to calculate it, so I guess I'm asking, is there gonna be adequate parking?
Yes, so the Tifa district is going to be constructing a public parking space right across the street behind the old Louis Bar site. There will be a public lot there. There's also space at the library which can be used during the day. So we are asking to waive some of the parking requirements to allow for more flexible parking and kind of encourage more walking in that area.
So at the end of the day, who owns this?
The parking lot behind the structure will be owned by
I
the
meant
My Health Clinic.
The building itself on the Tifa property.
Yeah, that will be the My Health Clinic. I believe the LLC is 3200 Mound LLC.
So funding-wise is my last question then.
Mhm.
So you have a grant, and it's 1.8 million, you said?
Yes, sir.
So what happens if, because a lot of projects I've been involved in have overruns, so what happens if it costs more than $1.8 million? Who's on the hook for the money?
So it is a flexible grant in terms of what they were allowing. I believe at first it was 1.6, but now it's gone up to 1.8. If there is more gap that needs to be financed, I believe it can go up to close to 2 million, if not 2 million. But ultimately, the city will not be responsible for paying any overages or anything like that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Rotz?
I've got quite a few questions. How many parking, I'm having a hard time because like this print is really small on here. How many parking spaces are on site?
Give me just a moment. There appear to be 29 parking spaces. From what or 31, my apologies.
For how many apartments?
36, my apologies. I also
Okay.
don't have the greatest eyes.
That's on site.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have a few problems. Number one, attending as many meetings as I have, I'm wondering where our economic development coordinator is. He should be here representing this project.
I'm the economic development representative. As of right now, I'm the only member of the economic development staff.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. So here's my problem. I'm very familiar with the property. I have a big problem saying that there's parking at the library because the library needs their parking. We don't need people over there parking for the health clinic. This property needs to be able to hold its own. And I also have a problem saying that, I know what you're talking about behind the old Louis Bar, but I have a problem with people having to cross the street to get to their house, to their apartment. I mean, that just doesn't seem right. And I assume the doctor's is going to fund all the money except for what he's getting?
Yes, we've transferred the application status over to the doctor. We've worked alongside them to get them through the process. They purchased the land from Tifa, and it will be deeded over to them soon.
Okay. So continuing on with the situation, I think it's overbuilding the property. I welcome the development in the South End, I get it. But I think they're trying to overbuild the property there. And to build on 3 sides, right on the property line, I just think that's a horrible idea. It's a horrible idea.
It is in alignment with the master plan as well as the corridor plan and the implementation plan. It suggests almost an exact building. This is really a model for what is suggested in those plans.
I understand that, but I'm in disagreement with that. So I'll probably be a no vote on this just because of the size of it going on the size of the property. So, thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Lindsay?
I think I echo a lot of what my counterpart's saying here. It seems like we have residents that aren't gonna have anywhere to park their cars. What if they wanted to have a guest? Where are they gonna park? I agree. I think it's really starting to overbuild. You know, having the medical clinic in there as well. Just seems like we're trying to do a little bit too much with the space that we have. I wanna support, South Warren development. I work down there. We need whatever we can get down there. But this, to me, is not a good design. I also disagree with it being right on the property line. That's not what I wanna see, in the city, even though that might, you know, be the city's idea of what they're looking for. Right now, it's on the zoning board, for decision, so I'm gonna be voting no on this, unfortunately.
I would also like to remind you, there will be parking installed across the street as well as across the
Yeah,
entire
we-
Tifa district.
You
They've
mentioned
committed
that.
to that.
I appreciate it, but that was already mentioned.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Jersey.
To the petitioner, do you have a shared parking agreement with the library at all, or any kind of agreement?
That would just be during the day. The across the street parking would have such an agreement, something like this drawn up, as it's being intended to help supplement this. That is really the purpose of this.
And, you know, I can appreciate the fact that, you know, the building matches the master plan. I really can. I mean, it's very thought out, but, again, the parking situation is kind of, you know, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I mean, I can see where you're going with it, but having people cross a busy road to try, especially at night and things of that nature, I think becomes a hazard.
There's also been a crosswalk installed right at the fire station, which is right across from it.
That's true.
and
That's
it's a
true.
big safety
That's true.
precaution that we've taken to ensure that there is safe crossing at this area.
The one thing, I mean, I think the plan is good except for the amount of apartments. That's the only thing I have a problem with. I think it's an overstretch for the amount of apartments. I mean, if we scaled that down 12 apartments, I mean, I think I could really get behind it, but I just really think we're trying to pack 10 pounds of stuff into a 5-pound bag. So it's just, and again, I can appreciate the thoughtfulness of going through all this and having it right to the T of the master plan, and kudos for that. But the parking and just the amount of residential apartments is something I have a problem with in regards to the parking. If the parking, I think if we scaled that down, parking probably wouldn't be an issue, you know. So that's my take on it, and I'll yield the floor.
Yeah. I just wanted to add my comments in the following, because if this building was a slightly different building, I would not even have problems with it going to the property line. If, let's say, the entire first floor was, I should say, retail or some kind of tenant like that. I look at this drawing, and the 3 residential units on the ground floor, basically, the only windows they have face Van Dyke, and they'd be right on the sidewalk. It's like, I'd love to know how somebody would want to have an apartment where if you have your drapes open, everybody walking down the sidewalk will be able to look straight into your living quarters. Now, you know, I've seen many mixed-use buildings, whether it's in cities like Royal Oak and others. They always have like retail or restaurant space along the first floor, and any residential is second floor and higher. Or the buildings that have residential on the first floor are actually set back farther from the sidewalk and have some green space. So that's where I look at it, and I'm like, I question the 0 feet from the lot line there, and also the concerns about parking, because parking across the street is not something that, I could just picture all those people are just gonna be parking in front of the neighbors' houses all the way up and down Continental. That's my comments.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Clift.
Sir, how come we didn't get a visual of what this thing's gonna look like when it was completed? I think what we're lacking here is some vision to be able to see what it is that you guys are trying to convey. It's hard for me to visualize a 3-story building from plans. I kind of like the concept. I understand where it relates to some of the other entities you mentioned earlier and with our master plan. But I think what we're missing out on here is a big selling point when it comes to a visual, so that we can actually see what this was gonna render out to look like. I think it might have greatly benefited your presentation had that been included in here. Is there a reason why we didn't have one? Do you have one?
We do have a rendering. I didn't know that should have been included, so I do apologize. I can certainly have that sent out to each of you if you would like. This incorporates some of the corridor plans, future ideas where in the bike lanes there will be added a curb that has some green space on it, medians in the middle of the road that have trees and this kind of stuff. That kind of makes it a lot easier on the eyes when you're looking out your front window. So,
Right, and that's the route to my point exactly. Also, it probably wouldn't have hurt to look at some of our ordinances and change some of that around for some redistricting or redoing some zoning when it comes to these kind of projects to make it easier for the projects to move forward without having to come through what I consider to be a relatively archaic process for new and modern ideas. And with that, I'll yield the floor.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Watts?
I just want to add one thing. He said there was a crosswalk and a light there. The light was put up to handle the emergency vehicles out of the new fire station. I don't think it was meant to be for pedestrian traffic, so. Just, yeah, I don't know, but I know that's why it was put up, so.
I believe that there is a button that you can press that will halt the traffic, but I'm not 100% certain on that.
Any other questions, discussion, comments, motions?
I just want to chime in that I'd feel a whole lot better about it if I could see it. I don't feel I'm in a position where I can support it based on the information that was presented to me here tonight. So,
Would we want to ask the petitioner to see if we could reschedule this to our next meeting so they could provide drawings or renderings? Or,
well, I can't speak for the rest of the
I know,
board,
that's
but I
what I
know it
just,
would help me an awful lot.
Mr. Chair?
yes,
There
Mr.
seems
Green?
to be a lot more issues than just, there seems to be a lot more issues than just that a rendering would solve. I don't know what the right direction is, but a rendering is not gonna solve the parking issue. We see a picture of it, so I don't know if postponing it or rescheduling it would make much of a difference at this particular point.
Unless the petitioner wanted to take it back to discuss, he's heard our concerns regarding parking. Because then I wonder if you want to go back and say, look, there's a lot of issues from the board in terms of waiving the amount of parking that they're asking for and such, and maybe revise the plan or so? I
Mr.
mean,
Chair.
Yes, Mr. Watts?
Is there a time limit on this grant?
I believe by the end of the next year, money has to be dispersed, so that just means that construction has to be started by the end of next year.
End of '26?
Yes.
All right, I'm in agreement too. There's too many questions here that need to be answered. And I think a rendering, even though I go down there 2 or 3 times a week, I think a rendering might help me see what that's gonna look like. I also have concern about the parking. I have a huge problem saying that we're gonna let people park at the library. That's not a public parking lot, so to speak. That's for the patrons there. Now I'm concerned about them people trying to be parking in the fire hall. Now, I know they got gates, but I'm concerned about that being a problem for the fire station now. And especially with people, if we're gonna park people across the street, that's gonna be another problem. And that station is very busy. There's too many questions to be answered. I guess I would be willing to postpone if we can get more information to help us understand what's going on here, because it's a big project. I don't want the city to lose a project. I certainly want, Van Dyke to be developed, but there's too many unanswered questions of what's gonna go on, so that's where I stand.
Mr. Chair?
One moment, Mr. Lindsay. Steve, did you have,
My suggestions from the concerns I heard, if you postpone it, don't do it till the next meeting to give them time to look at it. So you might want to do a postponement indefinitely so that it'd be reposted, so that anything was reconsidered would then be renoticed.
okay, thank you, Steve. Mr.
Thanks.
Lindsay, you had a comment?
Yes, thank you. I'm totally in favor of postponing it. You know, my thoughts on this right now, a visual rendering is helpful. That alone's not going to change my decision as it stands tonight. I'm totally comfortable coming back with a new plan, but I think what I need to sway my vote into being in favor of this is, I think right now my concerns are definitely gonna be, there's too much packed on this one size lot. So I have to see a reduction, in addition to more parking. I'm not a big fan of having the properties right along the property line. If other things change, I'm a little bit more comfortable with what's going on. That might not be a sticking point, but I want you to at least know where I'm at tonight, and how I'm leaning towards voting. I don't want to see the city lose this project either. I just think right now, the way it is, it's too much. I don't think it's good the way it is. So if we postpone, I'm in favor of that.
Okay, so to.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, yes, Mr. Sester.
Well, based on what I'm hearing, then I'd like to make a motion then, please. I'd like to make a motion to postpone indefinitely.
Support.
Okay. We have a motion and support to postpone this item indefinitely to give you a chance that you've heard our concerns, so that that way you can go gather whatever rendering, maybe try to address the parking concerns and be able, so when you come back, if there might be some revisions or so, then.
I'd like to see renderings of the parking situation too, like across the street, if you could provide that as well, not just the site, actual site plan, so.
So let's take a vote on the motion. Do you need to do a roll call? We could just do a yes, no. Is everybody in favor?
Aye.
Anybody
Aye.
opposed?
Opposed?
You're opposed?
Yes.
Okay, so 7 in favor, 1 opposed. But the item is postponed, so when you gather the information, you can get back on the agenda and we'll go from there.
Thank you for your time this evening.
Okay, thank you. Takes us to, okay, item number 9 was taken off. Takes us to item number 10.
Item 10, applicant Mohammed Islam, Representative Munir Al-Hawal, common description 287014 mile. Variance is requested permission to, 1, allow a community center on a property with a 98.2 foot lot width. 2, allow a community center in an existing building with a 24.6 foot front setback. 3, allow a community center in an existing building with a 11.2 foot setback to the west side property line and 8.5 feet setback to the east side property line. And I apologize if I got your name wrong.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, lady. Okay, my name is Munir Al-Ahwal, and I'm here to represent the community center members. I hope you grant them this variances. They're minor, variances. This is an existing building. The property will be completely improved, resurfacing the parking lot, raise the screening wall to the residential on the side and in the back as well. And so I'm here to answer any questions if you have. I think everything's clear.
Okay, thank you for that presentation. This is a public hearing. Are there any members of the audience wishing to speak on this item? Anybody who wants to speak, please approach the podium. And if everybody could just start with your name and address for the record, and then your comments.
Hi, my name is Peter Warwick. I'm the property owner adjacent to the representative here. The address is 2830 to 2860 14 Mile Road. It's a 4-unit commercial building. 2 of the units, one is a coffee shop, one is a barber shop. The other 2 units was a ethnic grocery store, which has recently vacated. We do share a common driveway to enter in between the 2 buildings, and the parking lot is split basically by the driveway, with parking on one side behind one building and parking on the other side for the other building. And previously, the tenant of this new purchased property, which I'm glad somebody purchased the property, it was a veterinary clinic. So the parking wasn't really an issue. They didn't have that many clients at one time. My concern is if there is a community event, there aren't that many parking spots, and even before there was some overflow of parking from one to the other, but it really wasn't an issue. Being that it's on 14 Mile Road, there's no street parking, and the side streets are relatively far away. So my concern is the parking, as it seems like parking is an issue with a lot of different developments. But I think it also depends on the usage. So that's just the concern I wanted to voice. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Mark Music, 32942 Dowland Drive. You know, I have several objections to this project. The first is, you know, like he just said, the veterinary clinic was a very low intensity of use. There are only 24 parking spots, you know, that fit behind this building. It's completely inadequate. If just the people here came to the center, there wouldn't be enough parking. And my concern is that they will overflow onto the side streets on either side of the building. You know, I'm only 2 houses off of 14 Mile Road, and I can just envision cars lined up and down the street and people walking all up and down the street coming to and from events. It is trying to put too much into this space. It was a building designed for low intensity, and you know, this is not a community center. This is a mosque that's being built. So there's a lot of activity at a mosque, and that's great, but you have to have the facilities that support that, and this is just the wrong choice of a building for what they want to do, and I absolutely am opposed to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dana Valatuti. I live at 32945 Dowland. I'm opposed to this. As Mark and the other guy said, parking is an issue. There's only 24 spots. The building will house, last time we were here, the building, they said it housed 80 people. That's 27 parking spots. That's not enough parking spots. Plus, you probably would need a garbage dumpster for all those people. That would lessen the parking spots. Also, there's a bunch of people here, and there was about 40 people here last time. Since this is a community center, that's the husbands, the wives, the children. The building holds 80 people. That would be more than 80 people. That would be a fire hazard. All those cars in the parking lot would be a fire hazard too. If something happens, an ambulance or a fire truck couldn't get back there. Also, with all these cars coming in and out, like you said, parking on the side streets. There is a bus stop for, I believe it's junior high and elementary on Dowland, and on the other side is junior high and high school. And with all the cars coming in and out and all the kids, I mean, who knows what'll happen. The wall, is the wall part of this? The wall does need to be extended up higher, 8 feet, because in my backyard, we see everything that goes on. We see all the people, we see all the headlights, everything like that. The coffee shop, there's always 20, I would say to 17 to 20 cars just for the coffee shop that's in there. The haircut place, there's 4 chairs. So I believe that each chair needs 2 parking spots, and that doesn't include the workers. I believe it's just 1 worker. And then again, with the parking, it's just a tight spot, and everybody would be all over on the side streets. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Any other comments from the audience?
Good evening, Honorable Chairperson and respected members. My name is Jahidul Islam. I'm a resident of...
And what is your address, please? I didn't hear.
I live in 29057 Oma Drive, Warren, Michigan. I'm a member of American Bangladeshi community, and I do support this community center. The reason because the Bangladeshi community people are growing here, the youth and young and senior citizens. We do need this type of place, and I understand that the members are concerned about the parking. So just I want to emphasize this, that the people, they're not gonna gather all together in the same time. Like one family will come, another will go. So it's not gonna be a busy area, or it's not gonna be a gathering like every single day. Maybe here's once in a month or year. And of course, they are obligated to follow the rules and regulation. So I just want to say that it is very much needed for the community, for the youngsters, for the youth, and for the senior citizens. And again, it's not gonna be a gathering like every day, like they are concerned about. Like one family will come, another will leave, so it should not be a problem. So I do support this project, and I do respect all of the decisions that you make. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Any other comments in the audience?
Good evening. My address is 32924 Oakview Drive.
And your name?
My name is Antoinette Cowan. My home is adjacent behind the coffee shop, barber shop. Thank you. You want to be that loud. A coffee shop and a barber shop, I find this to be open from the hours of, let's say, 9 to 5. What the community center is trying to do, which we have nowhere around, we have a weed dispensary, we have liquor stores on every corner. This coffee shop holding, let's say, 30 parking spots, because I'm not sure how many are there, but I live right behind it. There are 20 to 25 cars on the weekend till 2, 3 a.m. What they're trying to do is open a community center for a different ethnicity to help and gather together to help one another maintain jobs, education, clothing, to be functional in society in the city that we live in. Our own neighbors have no problem donating. They are trying to help get established. I don't see why there would be a problem of a community center being open versus everything else that's going on. I'm adjacent, right behind both of these buildings. The traffic that they're saying, I don't see 100 people. Do I see people could be walking there? Yes, I definitely could. But it's something that's more positive in the community than a negative. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for those comments. Any other comments before I close the public portion? Not.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, my name is Muzamil Hassan. I'm from 32007 Clays Drive, Warren, Michigan. So I'm supporting this community center because it's not only based on our, it's not only focusing on the community from Bangladeshi people, but regardless of that, like, you know, we're gonna try to help like anyone from around the neighborhood, like if they're struggling with, let's say, language barriers, food, or any support they need. So it's not gonna be like every people coming to that place all together. Like whenever they need, they will come and visit. They come, have their things done, and then they'll leave. So some of the neighbors we heard, they're saying like there will be a big event, something like that. It's not gonna be like the same. So hopefully it's going to help our community people rather than like making a huge traffic. So that's all I can say about like supporting our community center. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Patty Leja, and I live at 32936 Oakview in Warren. My property is directly behind the proposed site. Like my neighbor had said, there's a lot of activity into the wee hours of the morning. I'm concerned that this will continue and escalate if the location is being used after hours. At the initial meeting, they had said that the property would open at like 8 a.m. and maybe be closed by 6. There were concerns at the prior meeting, what happens if you had events that were later in the day, what provisions would be made, etc. I have a big concern, again, about the parking. Because I live on the next street over, I'm concerned that people will be parking there as well. One of the issues at the last meeting, they talked about putting up a 6 or an 8 foot wall. And from what I understand, because I'm on the west side of the property and the other building is a different parcel, that they would only add height to the east wall and half of the south wall, leaving my side, which is the west side, with the 4 foot wall along with the other. So only part of the wall in the parking lot would be higher, the other, my side, would be lower. And I can see right into the parking lot, see all the activity going on. Another thing that was addressed at the last meeting, they posted a picture of some of the application, and in the picture, I have it here on my phone, it stated right in there that this was a community center that is for men only. No women would be allowed into the events. So that's a concerning factor for me as well. So I hope you take all of that in consideration. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Safwan Mahmood. I live in less than 300 feet from
What is
this
your
building.
address?
32925 Walkview Drive, Warren, Michigan. And also I am one of the owner in this building at 2870 East 14 Mile. And just I want to share something about this building. When we bought this building, at the time We checked everything. Also, we asked some community members. They are agreed with us. And also, just our neighborhood, she said about the men's. Last time, our attorney, he did some mistakes about the men and women. That's why just we didn't hire him again. This was our just small mistake. That's why just we fix it. This is community center is not only for the Muslim, because I am of the owner. That's why I know about that, how we can use that. This is also I explained my neighborhoods, and also I collected a lot of signature. I submitted here. Just I'm requesting for review this all signature. They are also living in very close from this building, and they have work. That's why they cannot attend, and they also supported by signature. And also I can promise about this building, we cannot any big sounds or any traffic problems or anything, because of community center for all publics, is not only for the Muslims. We are trying for help people who needs foods or who needs another support or anything, because we know that a lot of people they needed support. There are a lot of homeless people, because our lot of community member there is helping us about the money. They are said you can spend for these homeless people. That's why just we need one space for the we can just yesterday when I spoke when one neighborhood. She said, I have a lot of clothes. I am not finding any place where I can give these clothes. That's our main things. This is not is our members, neighborhoods there is complaining against the parking lot. Is this parking lot we have total 38 parking lots. That all members is not coming is at the same time. So 2-3 people comes, when their needed is finished, they will come back. Then again, other person can come. This will be continue. Not is at the same time, lot of people can come, and will be very big bothering. That's why just I am requesting for if you approve this, will be very helpful for our community and for the all community members in our neighborhoods. And also I am promising again. We won't bother any neighborhoods or anybody can very big noise or anything. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Matabur. I'm living the cross street in the community for 2 minutes walk, Starling Heights. My address is 33270 Linsdale Court, Starling Heights, Michigan. The community center is, I think, is no parking is a problem, because I live in cross street 2 minutes away, almost 24 hours a day. I saw in the coffee shop maybe 3-4 customer, and the barber shop. This is my barber shop. I go always maybe 5 or 6 customer. But if you are sleeping, I don't see anything. I don't see anything traffic or anything problem, because the community center only not for Bangladeshi. The community center for all American, everybody, Chaldean, American, Bangladeshi, all among, for help for people. So I was here before, last time I speak to, please, this community center for working for all, everybody. That's my concern. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you for all those comments. Okay. There's an impact statement that needs to be read in. So I'll close the public portion of the meeting, not seeing anyone else, and read the impact
Thank you, Mr.
statement.
Chair. I actually have an email and the impact statement from the planning department. I'll read the email first into the record. This is from a concerned citizen, concerned neighbor from Earl Drive. We're one of the persons owning property within 300 feet of the property involved. We are a couple senior citizens who have lived here for more than 20 years. We do not allow this center to be in this location for the following reasons. 1, there will be traffic congestion along 14 Mile Road because the entrance going to the parking lot is only 1 lane and narrow, making it very slow for vehicles to enter going to the parking lot. 2, the area of the building is small. I do not know if it can meet the minimum required area of a community center because it was formerly a small animal hospital. 3, the surrounding fences are low, therefore lots of disturbances of the surrounding homeowners wherever there will be affairs in the center parking lot. 4, the 98.2 foot lot width, 24.6 foot front setback, 11.2 foot setback to the west property line, and the 8.5 foot setback to the east side property line should meet the requirements for a community center and approved for proper authorities, building permit, zoning department, et cetera. I hope you will read my email and concern in the public hearing. I'm sorry I cannot personally attend because I will be taking care of my grandkids. So the next thing I have is the impact statement from the planning department. So after review of the, per Ron Worth of the planning director of the planning department, after review of the request, the following issues were found to impact the abutting local or general public. 1, it was planning staff's observation that this property is poorly screened. A modified green belt consisting of trees such as arborvitaes and evergreens in addition to the 6-foot wall would provide the best screening. However, the trees would require a reduction in parking and reconfiguration of the maneuvering lanes along south and east property lines. 2, additional questions need to be answered regarding the total occupancy of the building. The floor plan indicates a total occupancy load of 139 occupants. However, they indicate they will not exceed 80 occupants. The fire marshal's comment question for the site plan is, what assurances will be in place to ensure the capacity is not more than 80 persons? This information needs to be provided prior to bringing the project back before the planning commission. 3, it is the planning staff's perception that when an event is occurring that the parking lot behind the other commercial building will be used by attendees. Regulating where attendees should park would be required of the owners. 4, a concern of the planning staff is the existing building setback of only 8 feet when the side yard setback should be 20 feet. It is with the above listed issues and concerns that the planning staff recommended the request variances be denied.
Okay, thank you for reading those into the record, Mr. Jersey. Okay, so I turn it over to the board for any of their questions or discussion.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Watts.
So, yesterday I went back and looked up the planning commission meeting, and I watched the, I don't know, it's probably an hour and a half. And I listened to Mr. Worth's explanation on all of this stuff, plus some other concerns, and the recommendation was to deny. And I think the concerns are very valid. There was a lot more residents at the planning meeting that spoke as well about concerns with the neighborhood. The other thing that came up was they're saying it's going to be a community center, and it came out that it was also going to be used for religious activities, which, you know, that could present a problem with how many people are coming. Because I know that, you know, the call to prayer brings a lot of people in as well. You know, I look at how many, I went over there and I looked at it, and I looked at the parking lot. I mean, I have a concern for the gentleman who owns the commercial next door, because there's not that many parking spaces back there. And if you have 80 people, let's just say 80 people come in, 2 in a car, that's 40 cars. That's not gonna work in that parking lot. Doesn't make any sense. And if they go with the number that was stated there, that it potentially could be 139, that presents a bigger problem. And I don't think that the gentleman that owns the commercial buildings next door should be taking, you know, his property being overtaken for parking. That's not right. I don't think that this idea fits the neighborhood. I think it's gonna be a problem. There's gonna be too much traffic, and based on the Planning Commission's recommendation for denial, I'm going to be a no vote. This is not right. There's no way this should have made it to us. Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Thank you. Mr. Lindsay?
Yeah. Actually, I have a question for the petitioner. Sorry to make you get back up, sir. So just one quick question for you.
Sure.
So I'm looking at your packet here, so I just want to make sure that I understand correctly. So in your application, were you aware when you purchased the building that it's not zoned for this type of property?
Yeah, it's zoned office.
Yes, okay.
And when you go
that's-
through to the zoning ordinance,
Yeah.
in the office, it would send you to the previous zoning
Yeah,
category and so on,
okay,
until you get to the community center.
yeah, thank you, that answers my question.
Mhm.
So, to the board, I mean, we got a situation here where the owner of the building purchased the property, knowing what it was zoned for, and now we are trying to get a variance to change the purpose of what this is for. I heard from the public, it sounds like there's a lot of concern by the residents living in the neighborhood, that this is gonna cause a lot of traffic, parking. So in my opinion, it's definitely gonna create a detriment to the area. It seems like it's certainly self-imposed. There's nothing unique about the property. The owner is trying to change the property for what it was intended to do. And it seems to be like for a personal or economic reason as to why they're trying to get this variance. I'm not gonna be voting, yes for this. Our criteria says that the applicant has to demonstrate all of the following to establish that there's a practical difficulty in order for the variance to be approved. I don't see that he's, meeting any of the criteria, so I have to vote him on this.
May I say something?
Only if there's a question. Mr. Lindsay was just giving his comments. He didn't ask any questions. Any other comments or discussion amongst the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Clift?
Mr. Watrapont? Sir, please.
Yes, sir.
Just help me out a little bit
I
here,
look
okay?
this way for you.
I'm over here now.
I know.
So just kind of help me along, because I kind of dove into this a little bit on the ordinance side.
Yes.
Oh, office districts. I'm just gonna do some quick recite reading. It's intended to accommodate those non-residential uses of an administrative or professional nature which are necessary to the normal conduct of a community's activities. It is specifically designed, however, to prohibit the introduction of commercial establishments of a retail nature or activities which require the constant visits of the general public. And then we go into 13, 8.01, which is the use. And I don't see anything about a community center use outlined in here, and you need to correct me if I missed it. I've read it 3 times, but that doesn't mean I didn't miss it.
I'm
You want me
trying
to
to,
just run through them?
I'm trying to pull up the ordinances
Okay.
and go from there.
So all permitted uses in PB or R1P districts except residential dwellings. So are community centers allowed in PB or R1P districts off the top of your head?
They are allowed in the R1A, so if you go to one of those districts, it's gonna say what's allowed. If you go to the R1P, it's gonna say what's allowed in R1C. What's allowed in R1C is allowed in R1B. What's allowed in R1B is allowed in R1A. So it goes to the 5.11 in the zoning ordinance.
All right. So I guess I'm just looking for a yes or no. Is the use that they're looking for, or not the use, I don't want to use that word use, is the activity with the word community center fall into the category of any of those?
A community center would be an allowed use in an O district because of the hierarchy of the way the zones work.
Okay. And that's where my contradictory nature comes in, because when it talks about intent and purpose, that whole thing just seems to throw it right out the window.
I understand that. But also under that, there is the sections of 511 that it must meet in that regard, and that takes it back a little bit to that intent.
It's just we've had some previous things come before us that started out innocuous and relatively innocent on the forefront that have evolved into problems in the city. And I don't want to see that happen here. And that gives me great pause. I'm having a hard time one way or the other on this particular proposal. I don't have a crystal ball, but I've got some experience with other things that went before us 10, 15, 20 years ago that are now rearing their heads with some public outcry. And at the base of it, it just doesn't seem, I'm gonna echo my colleague Mr. Watt's sentiment, it just doesn't seem like it's a good fit for the neighborhood, for the area there. And I think it just kind of falls short when it comes to the expressed intents and purpose of the O District. The O District, on the face of things, when I read through, it's more of a professional office setting where there's not a lot of coming and going, 10 or 15 people in a building working in offices, maybe you have your occasional visitor here or there, where a well-run community center is gonna have people constantly in place and coming and going consistently. And then if they're performing religious activities and call to prayer goes out, now we're overwhelmed with other kinds of issues. And I just, thank you, Mr. Watrapont. I'm gonna yield the floor, thank you.
Any other comments or discussion or motions?
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair? Oh, go ahead.
I was prepared to make a motion unless you have other comments to make. Okay. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to deny permission to, 1, allow a community center on a property with a 98.2 foot lot width, 2, allow a community center in an existing building with a 24.6 foot front setback, and 3, allow a community center in an existing building with an 11.2 foot setback to the west side property line and an 8.5 foot setback to the east side property line. Due to the fact that it is self-imposed, the property is not unique, it is a detriment to the area, it seems to be personal or economic, and it's not necessary.
Support.
We have a motion to deny by Mr. Lindsay, support by Mr. Watts, I heard, first, or Mr. Perry first? Okay, well, support by Mr. Perry, for the reasons stated in the motion. So it will be a yes vote to deny. Roll call.
Mr. Lindsay?
Yes to deny.
Mr. Perry?
Yes to deny.
Mr. Assessor?
Yes to deny.
Mr. Clift?
Yes to deny.
Mr. Green?
Yes to deny.
Mr. Watts?
Yes for the, to deny for the reasons stated.
Mr. Jersey votes yes to deny for the reasons stated in the motion. Chairman Ostovich?
I will also vote yes to deny. So unfortunately, your request was not passed today. Takes us to item number 11.
Item 11, applicant Kamal Noah, Representative Kareem Youssef, common description 5650 10 Mile. Variance is requested permission to, 1, allow a collision shop, 2, within 163 feet of a residential zoning district, 2, waive 2 required parking spaces.
Good evening, everybody. So we're here just to request for 2 variants.
And your names and address?
My name is Kareem Youssef. I live in Troy, Michigan, 1441 Leaf Green Drive, Troy, Michigan, 48083.
My name is Kamal Nona. My address?
Yeah, he's the owner of the property.
I'm the owner of the property.
And
5650.
10 Mile, Warren, Michigan.
Okay, and that take us through your request.
Yeah. So our request is to, we have 2 variants. So one of them is to approve that the location is 163 feet away from the residential area, and to remove 2 parking spots from our existing parking lot to improve our work going further and further.
Okay, thank you for that information. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this item? Not seeing any, or close the public portion of the meeting, and there's an impact statement. Mr. Jersey, if you could read into the record.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Per Ron Worth, the planning director of the planning department, after review of the request, no issues were found to impact the budding local or general public. The petitioner received a site plan approval for a 30-foot by 30-foot building addition to the collision shop on August 11th, 2025.
Thank you. So I'll turn this matter over to the board for their questions and discussion.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Jersey.
So real quick, so, you know, going back to the petitioner real quick, how long have you owned the property?
How many years have you owned the property?
Sorry?
How long have you been there? How long have you owned the property?
From 2004.
So 2004.
20 years.
Gotcha. So basically, I'm looking at all the enforcement on your property. And, I mean, from snow removal to, I mean, to this, that, and the other thing. So me personally, I'm gonna get on my soapbox because I got the floor. I'm personally against any more auto repair shops in this town. I feel like it's saturated. There's one every 30 feet. There's so many auto repair shops in this town like there were bars in Hamtramck in the 80s. So that being said, with all the enforcement, I would kind of recommend that you take care of your property and be a better neighbor. But with all that being said, I really find no reason to deny this because, you know, to allow collision, we have collision shops that are closer. You know, if I go back to the nuts and bolts of this, we have collision shops that are butting residential areas. I mean, we have, you know, all over this town. That have been granted, you know, prior to me being on the board. But it's, to me, I can't find a really good reason to not grant you your variance. With all that being said, I would just like to reiterate, try to be a good neighbor, try to take care of your property the best you can. We have a lot of auto repair shops that are just going amok, just with cars upon cars upon cars on the property that infinitely stay there for parts and things of that nature. I'm just painting a picture of what goes on in this town. I just don't want to see that on the property. But I personally can't see any reason to deny it. I mean, so, but I appreciate you at least listening to my rant and things of that nature. But to me, I think we've granted things that are a lot closer and a little bit crazier in nature. So I'll yield the floor on that.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Watts.
So my question to the petitioner, you've been there 20 years, correct?
Right.
It's been a collision shop all that time?
Yes, sir.
Are we looking to expand?
As you know, I mean, those days delivery is being late, so we're trying to expand so to keep our spare parts in the area, and also that allowing our customer to keep their vehicles for a long time. So, I mean, we're trying to improve our work.
So you
And
are
expand.
expanding, you're
Expand.
adding onto the property,
Yes,
onto the
sir.
building?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I mean, I too have a problem with, I look at all of the complaints there, and the one that really concerned me was the overspray on people's cars to another piece of property. So, I guess one question to Mr. Watrapont. I looked at the building department records online, and I was kind of confused. This had an occupancy permit, correct?
Yes, the original does.
Okay. I wanted to make sure of that, because I was confused, because I seen a couple that were canceled, and that's where I got confused, because I wasn't sure if one finally got approved or not.
I will verify that, but I believe I was an inspector on that.
Okay.
And I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it was.
Your word's good. Thank you.
But it's a guess, so.
Okay.
Don't walk away, Mr. Watrapont.
Mr. Watts isn't done yet, though.
I'm all set. Thank you.
No, I have a question. So, since there's been a collision shop operating, is the reason that it needs the variance is because the addition is what is now too close?
Expanding a non-conforming use.
Okay.
And it's, I believe, I didn't look at the plans closely, but I believe it's getting closer to the residential area with the addition.
Okay. That's how I just wanted to verify, because that's how I understood when I looked at this, and so, okay. Yeah, okay. Yes.
Mr. Chair, if
Yes,
nobody
Mr.
else has
Jersey.
anything else to say, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to grant the petitioner's request to allow a collision shop to within 163 feet of a residential zoning district to waive 2 required parking spaces due to the fact, the size and shape of the lot. It's not a detriment to the area.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Jersey, support by Mr. Assessor, to approve the request for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Jersey votes yes for the reasons stated in the motion. Mr. Assessor?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Perry?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Clift?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Green?
No.
Mr. Watts?
No, I think it's getting too close to the residential dwellings.
Mr. Lindsay?
No, I think it's detriment to the area.
And Chairman Stovich?
I vote yes for the reasons stated in the motion.
It's granted.
It's granted. Your request has been granted.
Approved or not?
Yes, approved.
Just
Thank you.
please be mindful of the neighbors. That's all we ask.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
This is item 12.
Item 12, applicant Justin Kahlo, Representative Michael Baidoon, common description 56498 mile. Variance is requested permission to, 1, construct a new building 11 feet from the center of the alley to the north side of property. 2, construct a new building to the west property line. 3, allow parking and maneuvering lanes to the east property line along Syracuse. 4, allow parking and maneuvering lanes to the front property line along 8 Mile. 5, waive both the required 8-foot wide green belt and 6-foot high concrete wall.
Good evening, Michael Baidoon, 4320 Pratt Road, Ann Arbor, Michigan, 48103.
How you doing? Justin Callow, 57170 Star Creek Court, Washington Township, Michigan.
If you could just take us through your request, Jeff.
Yes. Well, what we actually have is an existing building. It's about a 10,000 square feet building, and it used to be a steel fabrication. We're actually downsizing. The rear setback or the rear of the building, we are not actually changing the setback. I understand it's non-conforming, but we're not actually changing that. So we're shrinking the building from 10,000 to actually 5,000 square feet. And we are asking, and since the existing building right now, it's right on the property line with Syracuse, we're cutting that building out, that part of the building out, to accommodate for more parking, more landscaping. I try to compensate for some of the landscaping as far as the square footage, just to make sure that this site can accommodate all the parking and they can have better maneuvering and even better than what it is right now. And also we did some landscaping on the front, which wasn't required. And we did, I love trees, I love shrubs, so that's why we put in lots of landscaping in this one here, even including some interior islands. On top of all that, it was recommended by planning, since we had, I'm not sure if you actually saw the elevation of the property. I don't think I submitted it in this one here, but it's like the state-of-the-art building. We need to, right now it's an eyesore, and we need to modify that. And if we modify that and make it look beautiful and all that kind of stuff, it will beautify that part of 8 Mile. So I'm not sure if you can see this. It's all stone, brick, and all that kind of stuff as far as the shopping center. And the recommendation actually from planning is to do the same thing through the party store right next door. Right now that party store is outdated, just with blocks. We're actually willing to spend the money and make sure it looks like one hell of a strip of a shopping center right there. And I do have one more thing here. As far as the brick wall, I do believe it's on the plans, since the building is about 119 feet in the back. We have a 6-foot, I don't know why everyone is missing it, a brick wall actually right on the alley side behind the dumpster. So that wall is actually getting provided. And just wanted to say one more thing. Actually, we already got approved also from MDOT as far as changing the maneuvering lane and the entrances and all that.
Was there anything else you wanted to add on, or you're
I'm open
good?
for any questions.
Okay. So this is a public hearing. Is there anybody in the audience wishing to speak on this item? If you could just let this resident have the microphone.
My name is Althea Benjamin. My mother owns 20742 Black Mars. It sits adjacent or behind the liquor store. And I do want to say to the board that Mr. Justin has done everything he said he was going to do. The paper is being picked up, and also he closed the side of the alley on my, and that's touching my property. He closed the alley, so I don't have as much traffic coming in. And the other side, it already had a gate at the bottom, but Justin didn't know that. So when we left the meeting the last time I was here, I showed him that there was a gate on Syracuse, and he closed it. So my concerns are being met. So that's what I want to tell y'all.
Okay, thank you for those comments. Seeing no other, oh.
I support.
Seeing no other members in the audience, I'll close the public portion. We have an impact statement to read into record.
Yes, one last one, Mr. Chair, thank you. So per Ron Worth, the planning director of the planning department, after review of the request, no issues were found to impact the abutting local or general public. The petitioner received site plan approval for a new retail center on July 28, 2025. For concerns regarding the requested variance to waive the 8-foot green belt or 6-foot concrete wall along the north property line, a 6-foot high wooden fence, 4-foot high chain link fence, and some metal paneling exists along the north edge of the 20-foot wide alley. There are also some mature trees located along the rear property lines of the dwellings.
Thank you. So I'll turn it over to the board for any questions or discussions.
Mr. Chair, real quick.
Yes,
to
Mr. Jersey.
the petitioner, good evening, sir. Thank you for waiting through the meeting to the end. This is, you know, I drove by the property. This is a great project, in my opinion. I think it's a very good use. The one thing that just kind of walked me through this rechanging of the driveway, because the one thing I would like to see, you know, that the liquor store doesn't have, and that the current property just purchased it. Am I safe to assume you own both properties?
Correct.
I think I read that in the backup.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
okay.
yep.
So the one thing that's not consistent with 8 Mile, and if you look east and west of your property, there's a green belt. So there's grass. The one thing I would like to see, I would like to see between the, you know, sidewalk and 8 Mile, it's just a strip of grass. I mean, because the one thing that I could see happening, and I've seen it on the Google Earth image, there's a Mustang that's parked underneath the liquor store sign. If you get enough business, I just don't want people parking, thinking it's a cement slab to park that close to 8 Mile, if you follow what I'm saying.
I agree with you. I went on Google before and I saw one car actually parking right there.
Right. So,
that's not
like
right.
either side, it just continues the strip right down 8 Mile. And with this great of a project, I'd hate to see it kind of fall short with not having some green. You know, if we're going to redo that whole property, let's do it right to the T. I mean, I don't have a problem waving the wall or any of the other requests that you've submitted, but I would like to try to maybe see some kind of grass there for, you know, and don't let it die. Make sure it stays green too, so.
Only if MDOT doesn't have any objection for it, I will take it out and put up grass and we'll also plant some trees. We have no problem with that.
Sounds great, sounds great. So I'll yield the floor if anybody else has anything to say.
Mr. Roger Brown, were you approaching because you had something to add?
Yes, I agree with that concept. However, it will create a maneuvering lane that doesn't fall under the ordinance, so he'll have to add another variance onto it and go from there. So it may have to go back to planning first with that rendering, if that's the plan. I know it says one way there now. He may be able to get it in without that because of the one way, but it's got to be reviewed by planning before that. So,
That makes sense.
if you approve it, it may still come back, is all I want you to know is the reasons why.
Okay, thanks.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Lindsay.
I just have one quick question for the petitioner.
I'm sorry, can we, are you talking like about just in front of the party store or along the entire front of 8 Mile?
I mean, currently with the current project, I can't really go with what you have with the liquor store, you know, because we're dealing with the current property, you know, at 5649. So in front of 5649, I would like to see some grass. I mean, I know that if you change something at the liquor store, like Mr. Wetchepont said,
Yeah,
you
it's the liquor store that could cause the problem.
correct. So we're just, right here and now, let's focus on this project, and you can do a deep dive into the liquor store later on down the road, but that's what I would like to see on that property. But, I mean, very nice, very nicely done, gentlemen, and thank you for investing.
Thank you.
I'll yield the floor.
I yield.
So my question to the petitioner, and if you mention it and I miss it, I really do apologize. First to say, I really have no issues here. This is more just so I fully understand what's happening. So you said you have a 10,000 square foot building now, and you guys are tearing that completely down, reconstructing to a 5,000 square foot building?
We would rather do that if we're going to have a problem with the variance in the back, but the footing already exists and the wall already exists. But we would rather tear the whole thing down and start from scratch.
Okay, and that's your plan, right? Is to take down the 10,000 and
Correct.
build a new building
Yeah, once
at
we
half
build
the
up a
size?
20-foot wall or 16-foot wall, the size of the footings structurally may not be enough to
Okay.
support that. And right now, the building support is basically on the steel.
Yeah.
So I do believe that foundation needs to be changed. Yes.
And then what are you guys putting in there? You said shopping center, so is it gonna be just one store that goes in there, or?
We're gonna leave it open. More likely, it's going to be some kind of a retail. So
Okay.
it's
So you guys don't have a tenant, you're just building the building so you can get a tenant in there?
Correct.
Okay, so no clue as to who might move in?
Not yet.
Okay, and that's totally fine. That doesn't weigh my decision at all. I agree with Mr. Jersey. You guys are gonna do a wonderful project. Why are you waiving the greenbelt?
I love landscape. Why are we?
Yeah, why are you requesting to waive the greenbelt? I would like to see landscaping on a brand-new project like this.
I thought it just because of the setbacks right here. Right now, we're bringing the building down to 5,000 square feet, and it will not be even feasible to even make it smaller. So just to comply with with the parking requirement, 20 feet for parking, 20 feet behind it. So that's one of the reasons we can actually plant trees on the side of Syracuse, but I tried to compensate for the square footage by creating a big corner right here on Syracuse with more shrubs and trees, and also another island right here. So that will compensate for the same square footage, and I added more landscaping actually on the front, greenbelt on the front. For the alley, I mean, there is nothing we can do. We have the building right there.
You
Yeah.
vacated this, right? So
Correct.
it'd be in the center line of that. That's where it would have to go. That's where
The landscaping? Well,
the green belt and/or
and 11 feet in the back right there?
Mr. Wanchbach, could you clarify for me where the greenbelt's supposed to be and where the request to
green
Oh,
waive
belt
is?
has to is a separation where there is residential
Okay.
property. So that would be, they vacated the alley, so it'd be down the center of the alley now is where his property line is. And that's where the 6-foot wall and/or the green belt would have to go, is along that back portion.
Okay. Okay.
I know what you're saying about green area and everything else, and planning is all for that as well, but that's not part of the
So this is
requirements.
more to have a barrier between any residentials?
Yes.
Okay. So why do we want to waive that? Help me get on board with that.
Well, we've actually been talking to the neighbor and put on the wall in their property, and they do agree to it, so that way we can leave an alley in case for maintenance or anything like that, even if it's vacated. I mean, we have no problem building up the wall right there, or turning it, or half of our alley into landscaping. Like I said, I love landscaping.
Yeah.
Okay, but the residents behind us, they were asking us if it's possible to build up a wall on their own property just for their own safety and security and things like that. We can do either or.
Okay. Well, that answers my question. I guess, you know, comments to the board. I'm not gonna let that stand in the way of how I vote on this, but I don't know why we need to get rid of that. It
There's
doesn't,
also utilities that run back there,
okay.
so,
So we're thinking that the wall or the bushes get in the way.
yeah.
Okay. I'm on board with that. I just really didn't understand. Thank you for clarifying.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Watts?
So I have a question. When did the alley get vacated? Do we know?
I tried to go to zoning and find out, and I couldn't get in that information.
Well, zoning wouldn't have that information.
Yeah, I know.
If it helps, it was vacated when I lived on Syracuse back in the mid-nineties. It was already vacated.
I believe it may have been vacated and never closed off or anything, except for one side had partial closing.
That would be my only concern, is if it was officially vacated.
It's on the plans, and I don't think planning said anything about it. They do that research.
Okay.
Planning actually said we can either find something from council, which we couldn't find, and they couldn't find, but they said if we can actually have an official surveyor, somehow we had an official surveyor that did the boundary, and they are the one who actually put vacated on that. The council have no records of it, but they said, oh, on a title, we do have a title, we're closed on a vacated alley.
I'm remembering
was-
that gate, I'm remembering that gate there a long time
I mean,
off of Syracuse into that alley.
I don't doubt that. I grew up in the area, and I know there's always been an alleyway all the way down. And I was just concerned that when did it get vacated, and, you know,
They couldn't give me that information, but they said if the title company actually closed down, they wanted it to see that. I sent it to them, it says
okay,
vacated.
fair enough.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Jersey?
Mr. Chair, if nobody else has anything else to say, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to grant the petitioners permission to, one, construct a new building 11 feet from the center of the alley on the north side of the property. Two, construct a new building to the west property line. Three, allow parking and maneuvering lanes to the east property line along Syracuse. Four, allow parking and maneuvering lanes to the front property line along 8 Mile. Five, waive both the required 8-foot wide green belt and 6-foot high concrete wall due to the fact, size and shape of the lot, and it's not a detriment to the area.
Support.
So we have a motion by Mr. Jersey, support by Mr. Lindsay to approve the request for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Jersey votes yes for the reasons stated in the motion. Mr. Lindsay?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Watts?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Green?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Clift?
It's gonna be a great project, yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Assessor?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Perry?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
And Chairman Ostovich?
Yes, for reasons stated in the motion. Your request is approved.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Takes us to item 13, new business. Any new business?
Mr. Chair.
Chairman,
Mr. Watts, then Mr. Clift.
So, last meeting, we had a lot of discussion about moving the meetings to 7 o'clock. And it was yanked off the floor before we took a vote. I think to be uniform with the rest of the boards and commissions that meet in the evening, that 7 o'clock is a reasonable thing to do. And I'll make a motion to move the meeting to 7 o'clock and take a vote.
Support.
So we have a motion, and was that supported by Mr. Green? So we have a motion and support, so take a vote.
Support.
Oh, Mr. Green supported.
Oh, okay.
We can,
So, all right, Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Clift?
nope,
Mr. Assessor?
Yes.
Mr. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. Lindsay?
I can't believe you guys did this to me, no.
Mr. Jersey votes yes. Chairman Ostovich?
I vote no, but the motion passed 5 to 3.
5 to 3. Favor.
But one thing that wasn't mentioned is when would that be starting?
It would have to start the first of the year because the calendar's already printed for this year.
Okay.
It'd be effective in January, first meeting in January.
Okay. Mr. Clift, you had an item you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, we did elections last meeting also. We failed to appoint our representative to the Council of Commissions. Just wanted to point that out.
It did such a wonderful job.
As much as I'd like to, I cannot accept that responsibility. I'm a little stretched thin as it is.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Mr. Assessor to the Council of Commissions.
I'll support that.
Does Mr. Susser accept the motion?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Sound excited down there.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Assessor.
You gotta reach out to them.
Any other new business or item 14, adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Jersey, support by Mr. Green to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned at, let's see, 9:11.